So let's start. Good afternoon, everyone. Today we'll be looking at some of the questions that we have in our pack. And I'm going to start with the question number 1. So the material we'll be using is the Riskfree pack, which I believe you all have yours. So I'll be moving from the question, so you will be able to look at what are the errors and what are the right things you have done while we're having that. Okay, I'll go on. So I won't have any over. And for what we'll be looking at today, you can see the question that we are going to look at are the ones that I've already opened for you. And those questions, I believe you all have your pack. We'll be looking at question 1, question 2, probably I go to question 3. I might likely jump question 4, so that I also want to get feedback. I think you've done 1, 2, 3. I've seen some people also tried it. So I will also look at question 4. So all those questions that we have done, we'll just look at them because some of you have submitted them already. So let's start from question 1. So in order to know that you are with me, and I'll be sure that I'm not just the only one online, I might ask you to read the question, then we'll go on and we are. So I believe you guys should have your question with you. While I use my own electronically, I will have your own question to also be with you. So that is it. Okay, let's see what we have. Question 1. You are required to prepare the consolidated statement of financial position of P Limited as at 31 March 2009. Now, like what I've told you earlier, that if you are given question and you are asked to prepare the consolidated statement of financial position, the requirement is what the examiner wants, and that requirement is what you are going to look at. So let's look at that requirement. How do we solve that requirement? And how will that requirement be tackled in our exam? So let's go there and we'll move. In case you are given this in the exam and you are asked to prepare the records, so these are the things that you must have with you, and those are the information that you need to consider. Now let's look at the information from the question. I believe you all have your question, so I will be moving because it might not be easy for me to be talking between the question and that, but I've shown you what the question is. Please, is there anybody in the class that does not have the question? Okay, if you don't have, I'll try to see if I can be moving, but it will be taking some time of me. This is the question we are solving. We are solving question number 1. Question number 1 is saying you are required to prepare the statement of financial position as at that date, which is 31st March. Now, I will look at that. I'll go to my solution page, which I have. So, and I get some things I need to do. But before we move ahead, I could look at this. We are told that P acquired the entire share, and this is also the date. Telling you that P acquired the entire share of the subsidiary, it means that subsidiary is a wholly owned subsidiary. So if you get that to be wholly owned subsidiary, what are the facts and things that we need to look at? So let's quickly look at them as we move ahead. So requirements. So I look at my solution. Now, please, I would like to beg you. This is the first page. This is where the examiner wants my solution. And I would like to draw your attention to it that you cannot solve any of these questions if you don't go through the workings. But please, the working is not the first thing the examiner wants to see. And in your exam, you now make use of loose sheets for ICANN. You can start your workings, but by the time you want to arrange, let your requirement, which is the solution, be on the first page. So let's have it. So here, this is my solution page. And I've been told that P limited and I can say P, what is best for you as students, just P limited group. What's the requirement? Consolidated statement of financial position as at 31 March 2009. That is the reading. So I have that. Now, like what I usually tell my students, the solution is always a mirror of the requirement. And you can easily get your answer by just going straight. So let's start from the basic thing. What's the first thing I have in the question? I have the element of what we call non-current asset. After that, the examiner, even from this question, I just have the word non-current asset. So I don't want to bother myself. I just say non-concurrent asset. After that, in the question, I have what we call investment in X. Like what I've told you, we are not going to have that investment in X again, but you can have a pro forma format which will talk about goodwill. Then you just leave the space and go to what we call current, and this is what I have on the asset side, which will give me total assets. If you look at it, I left some space in case of any surprise. Then I move to the other one. I have equity. Under my equity, and I have what we call share capital. After share capital, I have what we call retained earnings. And like what I always advise my students, write the word group already. After retained earnings, you now have the comment called non-current liability. Sorry. We have here non-controlling interest. After the non-controlling interest, I now have the current liabilities. Now, this is what the examiner wants to see. But I want you to know that I can't get to all what this examiner wants to see if I don't go through all the adjustments. So going through all the adjustments, we start from step 1, which is our working. We have working 1, and that's our group structure. From this question, we have from what we have read earlier that P Limited acquired the entire share. That is the first thing I'm saying in the preamble. So I have P Limited acquiring the entire share of X Limited, which is 100%, and the date is 31/9/2009. In this case, the NCI is 0%. There is no NCI. But there's something I want you to quickly look at, and I want you to focus. This is the date of acquisition, which is 31/09/09, and the date of reporting is 31/09/09. If you look at this, the dates are the same. So in this case, you might see that as we move on, there's not going to be post acquisition. So I go back to the question. If we go back to the question, you'll see that there's nothing called post acquisition. There's nothing called post acquisition. So, and there's no other adjustment. For those of you that you don't have your question, let me quickly show you what we are saying. If you look at it, there's no adjustment in this question at all. But that doesn't mean we won't still have to go through our arrangement. So, and those post adjustment, it is. So I want you to know that we need to look on. Okay, thank you. Somebody just caught my attention, and it's true. It's 31st of March, not September. So let's quickly make that adjustment. That is 31st of March, not September. So in that case, we have it to be 31st of March, and that will also be for our own. Yes, I think I got the emblems on the solution there. So this is 31st March and 31st of March. So having done that, the next step, step 2, is for us to calculate the net asset of the subsidiary. And the net asset of subsidiary, we need information, date of action, date of reporting, and the post acquisition. So what's the date of acquisition? That is 31/3/09. Date of reporting is 31/3/09. So what are the informations we have? Share capital. For those of you that did not get this, you can watch the video before this. So this is now our share capital. For our share capital in the question, to know that you guys are with me, I would like to confirm what is the share capital of the subsidiary on the date of acquisition?
25,000.
Thank you. You won't be given on the date of acquisition. They gave us on the date of reporting. That will now be extended to the date of what? Acquisition. Now let's look at this. Retain earning. What's the retained earning of the subsidiary on the date of reporting?
12,500.
Looking at this question, we are not given the reporting, we are not given the retained earning on the date of acquisition. But if you look at it, that is also the date of acquisition. So that gives us 12,500. No adjustment. So we close the account. The amount here is 37,500. 37,500. Difference is 0. Difference is 0. So it means our post acquisition is also 0. That is step 2. What is step 3? I'm to move to class. What am I to do in step 3? Goodwill value. So let's get our goodwill value. To get my goodwill value, I need my consideration transferred. In this question, I only have the parent, which is P Limited. It's because there's a only acquisition, so there won't be any subsidiary. So question me as I question, what is the amount that was paid by P Limited to acquire X Limited?
42,500.
Now, how do I know that? I will have to take you through that again, because there are some of us that might not have that idea. Once you pick your question and you look at this, you will see investments in X. So that investment in X is stated as the amount in which the parent paid in order to acquire the subsidiary interest. Okay, I will look at that. Let's now look at what we need to do now in our requirement. In our P Limited, that is 42,500. Are we together? So our 42,500 is the amount that we have for the records. So what is now the net asset of the subsidiary? X. According to the question, what is the amount?
37,500.
37,500. So class, what is the value of my goodwill? What's the difference?
5,000.
5,000. So we are through with that. So let's go to working for. What do we need to calculate in working for?
NCI
Retained earnings.
component.
So we come here, non-controlling interest. Now, if you look at all what we are doing, in this NCI, we say fair value is equals to 0 times 0%. That is 0 naira. Post acquisition is also 0 naira on what we have. The post acquisition that is to share is also 0 naira and 0%. That is also 0. So it means that the NCI value is equal to what? Is 0. So the next step we will go to is number 5, which is our group retained earnings. So to get my group retained earnings, we go to the parent, which is P Limited. What is the group? What is the retained earning of P Limited on the date of reporting?
75,000.
25,000 naira. So, and what is the post acquisition? That is 0 naira times what? What is the rate that he has? He said 100% times 0 naira, and that is 0. So it means that what we are having is 75,000 naira. It's 75,000 naira. So whichever way you have it, you get to see that all these transactions they work as we have done. Why I'm still taking you through all these rudiments is that when we move on, you're already used to this. Now I can go straight to my solution and start giving you answer by adding, or I can use this format. If you look at it, I'm through with all the additional information. Then I go straight to the question. Please, I want you to understand the pattern I'm using. I started from the question, taking care of the preamble and the additional information, making some references to item in the body of the question. I haven't dealt with that, and I go back to the body of the question because I want to make sure I pick all the items in the question. Then I have my page. So I can come here and note 6, non-current assets. I have the one for the parent. Now, we have some questions, and I need to answer those questions myself. Under the standard IFRS 10, what is the consequence of control? Anybody? What is the consequence of control? Please, the question I'm solving is the questions that you have in your pack, in your Riskfree pack. If you have your OTG with you can easily just look at the FR pack. Are you there? Those questions are in their, I think, page 20, 20, so that's it. Okay, what is the consequence of control? Okay, we said that one subsidiary is controlled by a parent. It means all its assets and liability will be fully consolidated. Underline the word fully consolidated. So I have the 200 and I have X Limited. His own non-current is 20. Is there any additional information affecting non-controlling interest? There is none. So if there's none, I'll just have to bring my information to bear. So I close this. This will give me 220,000. I move to the next item, note 7, current asset. The current asset for P Limited is 495,000, and the current asset of S Limited is 60,000 naira. So is there any additional information on that too? Checking on my additional information, there's none. So I have the total 555,000. So I move to note 8. The element of what? Share capital of the parents. I will not touch that because there's no adjustment on it. So I just write the figure straight into the question. And what the question says is that the amount for the parent retained earnings is 250,000. Chicken. Then I move back to my additional information and I get the value for the current liabilities. For the current liability, I have for P Limited. What is the value for P Limited? 412,500. I ask for X Limited, that is 42,500. Total. Please can you give me the total? So I will know I'm not the only one. Can we get the total, please? Nobody is calculating total for me. That is 0. And that is
That is
4.
455,000.
455000.
So that is it. 455,000. Thank you, class. Now, if you look at this, I'll pick all the information question, which means I don't need the question again. So I can easily just go back to what we have said earlier. Now I pick my information. Non-controlling assets. Working what is that? My non-controlling assets is working 6, and the amount is 220. So I'll bring it here. And I'll come here. I have note 6, and that is 220. Goodwill. I've calculated my goodwill. What is the value of my goodwill?
Yes.
How much is my goodwill?
5,000.
5,000.
5,000.
That is working 3. So we now come here, working 3. 5,000. Okay. My current asset. Working, what is my current asset?
Working 7.
You need to participate, please. Working what?
7.
Working 7.
Working 7.
Working
And how much is
7.
it?
550,000.
So that is it. Please, so this is a question and answer session. So this is working 7. And I have 550,000. I need my group retain earning. Working, what is my group? My group retain earning. Working, I have my group retain earning.
Working 5.
That is working 5. And how much is it? 75,000. So that is group working 5. And I have 75,000. My non-controlling interest, that is my working 4. And the answer is 0. So I just come here working 4. And the answer is 0. My current liability is working 8. And my answer is 455,000.
455,000.
I come working 8, 455,000. So class, what is the total for up and the total for down? Like what I always tell my students in my life, when I'm solving myself, I don't write the total until when I confirm and that total is not having any problem.
Your total net asset is 780,000.
780,000.
Okay, what is also my total liability?
780,000.
Okay, because two of them is correct, I will now write. If it's not correct, I'll leave it. The examiner will think that maybe there's no time. But me and my God know say I don't see mistake. Any question? Okay. Class, let me quickly remind us again, for those that are just joining us, the question I'm solving are those questions we have in our pack. So not that they are special questions. Although if I'm going to have special questions with you, I'm not going to put it on the internet, because even this question we are having, if you look at it, somebody have even adopted it, and we see people adopting them, so we just still leave it there. So the other ones that we are going to solve are the one we share for you in class. So now we have done question 1. If you have your Riskfree pack, all these questions I'm doing are on page, we have it on page 14, we are 15. So we are doing question number 2 now. So we are going to question number 2. So let's go question number 2. So I think question 1 is done.
Please, sir, please return back to the solution.
Yeah, I will surely go back there. And please, in order for us not to be having the question of going back to solution and all the rest, I will do something once you are through. I will send the something to you. Today, thank God now. Today, I should be able to send the one that I've done earlier and this one, so that I won't have to be waiting for you to write again. So
yeah, that's perfect.
So this solution will be sent to you. Okay. Okay, let's go question number 2. So that I won't forget. This is question 1, and it's on page 15 of Riskfree pack. That is the 2020 edition. So let's go question number 2. So question number 2, which is also on page 15. What is the requirements? What is the question saying? If you look at this question number 2, it has its own unique one. And if you look at it, I want us to be very careful when we come to question. They told you that the following statements of financial position were extracted from P Limited, and this as at 31 March 2009. The examiner here presented to us a preamble that is just of a small statement, and then I give us the body of the question following. Then we now have a further preamble. Look at this question up here. There's nothing that shows us who is the parent, but at least they've said an X Limited subsidiary. Some can just say this is the book of P Limited and X. But for us to get further information, you will come down here at the preamble down here. It said P Limited acquired 80% of X Limited on 1st of what? April. Now, if you look at those information going further, it is very unique here. I want you to be very careful up to this point. P Limited acquired what? They acquired X Limited on 1st of April 2018, when the retained earning was 40,000 debits. 40,000 debits. Please, this one is not like the other ones you just rush into. If you look at what we have done here, they are saying 40,000 debits, and you are going to see that when we get there. And we are told that the goodwill is calculated using proportionate of net assets. Under this word, when you talk about proportionate of net asset, we only consider that value of the parent. And even if you are told there is a proportionate of net asset, and the examiner required a full goodwill method, please class note, it is assumed that the my non-controlling interest paid for his own fair value at cost. And that is what you are going to see us do. Because if you look at the question, there's no value here telling us that the NCI paid any amount. So class, let's move to the question and my own solution page. So question 2. As I'm solving, I'll be saying this. Please, for the person who wants it to be recorded, I'm not allowing record because the same device I'm using for you on this platform is also what I'm using in my office and is also registered. So I cannot put this recording on my cloud. However, if you look at the left corner, you will see that it's on YouTube. So if you click on it, you can copy the link, or I will send the link after that, and you can load from the link. I've exhausted my cloud savings. So anyone I send out, I will have to tell them in my office why I have to buy or pay for a larger one. Even the ones I have there, I'm deleting. So that's why if you record anything, I might not be having it. So pardon me. So for those just joining us, because I just admitted some of you, we are looking at question 2. And that is question 2 is on page 15 of your Riskfree pack. So let's start. The question says, as you draw the consolidated statement of financial position. So I just start P limited. And I've told you the best one that is better, just write P limited group. So now I have my consolidated statement of financial position as at, and the date I'm having here is 31 March 2009. In the question, I'm still working with Naira. And if you look at what I'm doing, and with the original question, so I'm just writing what I have in the question back. And like what I always tell my students, that if you can even write back all those things you have there without the figure yet, you'll be happy that you are solving the question. So after that, I leave the space for goodwill, in case there's any goodwill. And if there's no goodwill, I just put dash. And after that, I have what we call current assets. That is for my total asset. After that, I now move to my equity. Under my equity, I have my share capital. I tell you, this is my pro forma format. So after that, I move to what we call my group retained earnings. After group retained earnings, I leave a space. I go to what we call non-controlling interest. If you see what I'm doing, I'm going to build on all what I have. Then I have my current liabilities. This is my solution page. At least if you cannot do anything in the exam, if you have written this one, I want you to know that you score something. This is what we call man must write something in accordance with a label. That is Babatunde Fakunle. So let's now go on to our workings. Like what I told you, you can't get to the solution without going through the workings. So I'll start working number 1, group structure. And I told you the group structure has its own information. From here, we're told that P acquired X and it is 80%. Then we have NCI Immediately, we are having a situation that the parent is not acquiring the entire share. How much will be the value percentage for NCI? Class?
20%.
Good one. It's very simple. And in this case, although the date of acquisition is 1st of what?
1st of April
2008.
8.
Please, if you don't know where I got that date, signify. Okay, it's from the question. So quickly, I will also look at the date of reporting. And my date of reporting is stated as what?
31st March 2009.
31st March 2009. Looking at this, it means that there was acquisition when? At the beginning of the year, during the year, or at the end of the year?
Acquisition.
I think.
Correct, Pedro, at the beginning of the year. You can see. So in that case, we can move on. Let's go on to the next additional information that we need. Class, what will be my next additional information? What will be my next additional information? I can't hear you. My next additional information is going to be my what
determination
class?
of net asset of subsidiary.
Net asset. So I want you to get that. Net asset or X limited. And those days will be 3 days. I have the date of acquisition, date of reporting, and post acquisition. So from there, I have share capital. My share capital on the date of acquisition is what I'm going to have. Okay, a question. Mrs. Adiola, are you having any challenge? You want to ask a question?
No, sir.
Okay. That's why I'm muting your mic. Please, in order to save your data, I also learned something. You can switch off your video. Are you there now? Because when you on your video, you have more data consumed. So just switch off your video. And if you want to speak, you will mute. And once you finish speaking, please mute the mic. So we have share capital. The share capital on the date of acquisition is on the date of reporting is 135,000. That will now be inferred for us to get the day of acquisition. Yeah, and I look at my retained earnings. Now for my retained earnings, what I have as my retained earnings on the date of reporting is
500.
Now be very careful. On the date of reporting now, where I'm going and I want us to see the beauty of it. I was told it's 40,000 debits. The net assets we are looking at here is a credit element statement. So if I'm going to put any item that has to do with debit, it will be in a bracket. So what I'm having as my retained earning on the date of acquisition is 40,000. But the examiner told me it's a debit. So that's why it's going to be in a bracket. And this is going to really open up a lot of things that we are going to see as we move ahead. Now, let's see those things as I've said it earlier. Pardon me, let me go back. No wahala with it, this is 0. Class, what will be my post acquisition? I need your help.
71,500.
Muwala Tile. Why? Explain.
You said post acquisition now. Is your
Bẹ́ẹ̀ni
date
ma,
of reporting minus your date
Of
of
acquisition.
acquisition.
you are a beautiful sister. Because you're on the internet, I would have said something else. So, but they won't, so I don't want them to pick my voice on the internet. Now look at what we have said, and from what that beautiful voice have just given to us, we are told for us to get our post acquisition, we need tool information, we need the retain earning. Sorry, what are the body to get my yari? We need tool of our post. We need our retain earning on the date of reporting and our retained earning on the date of acquisition. In this case, we are having 31,000, and the rule says that it must be minus. We are now having minus 40,000. So if you are saying minus times minus, that will automatically cancel out all these negative. So we are now having 71,000. What this is simply saying is that for the organization to have made a profit of 31,000, it means their profit for the year, and I would like to bring this up for you, is that we are talking about, let me look at what we call analysis of retained earning. You have what we call retained earning brought forward, which is 31, sorry, minus 40,000. Now, what would have been the profit for the year that I will make that will now give me a retained carry forward of 31,000? So that is what we are saying here. So it means I must have made a profit that is so huge that will take care of this loss and will still give me a profit. And such is what 71,500. So please, is there still any question on that? If there's no, let's move ahead. So yeah, I think it's 106, and then the amount is 25. Any question? Okay. In the absence of no class, in the absence of no question, we'll move to the
Sorry,
next.
sir. Why is that date of reporting 106?
Why is the date of reporting what?
106,000. Is it not additional?
I'm adding now, add 135,000 plus 31,500. What would that give me?
Supposed to be 166,500.
My calculator. Thank God that you even showed me. So you guys have calculator. 166,500. Confirm. If I subtract, will that still give me 71,500?
Hopefully.
Hopefully. There's nothing hopefully here.
No, it will give us 71,500.
So that's correct. So let's move to the next step. And that next step is for me to determine my goodwill. So computation of goodwill. So let's look at our goodwill. From our goodwill, what's our purchase consideration?
59,500.
How do you know that is the amount for the parents?
Investment in S Limited.
Thank you that much. 59,500. Now, in this case, we need to know the value for NCI. Because the examiner said we should use proportionate, so it means that the amount paid by the NCI will be at the cost on the date of acquisition. And what is the net asset of the subsidiary on the date of acquisition?
71,500.
91,000.
95,000.
The answer is 75,000. I don't know where you get 91.
71,500 actually.
No.
It's 95.
71,500 is the post acquisition. Why the net asset is
Oh, okay.
95. So we now have that 95,000. So what is that going to give me? Joe. I think that's what is my answer. What did you call the answer?
20,750.
22,000. 20% of 95,000
is 19,000.
I think my math is still better than your calculator.
The total
Okay,
is 78,500.
so what's the total of the PC?
78,500.
78,500. So I now need my net asset. What is the net asset of X Limited on the date of acquisition?
95,000.
That is 95,000. So in this question, I'm not having goodwill. Rather, what am I having?
Gain on
I'm having gain on what?
on bargain.
On bargain purchase.
On bargain purchase. And how much is it? This? How much is my gain on buying back?
16,500.
16,500. So a quick note to quickly confirm that immediately we are gain on bargain purchase. What is the treatment? What is going to be the treatment?
To go to other comprehensive income.
So we say transfer to reserve. And like what Patrick has been saying, reserve. I want to underline it again. What he said was right, but we have changed the grammar. That when we say transfer to reserve, in this case now, we are not having anything like capital reserve again, but we are having a major reserve, which is the group reserve. And that group reserve is referred to as our group retained earnings. Group what class?
Group retained earnings.
Are we there now? So you might see our group retained earnings to the party earlier. And now say note 4. Group retained earnings. You can see here that my group retained earnings is coming to party early enough. You see, there is no rudimental principle of saying that I must do NCI before group retained earnings. I'm solving it according to what we have. After doing all the adjustment, I will now ask myself, have all the 5 steps been concluded? So I come here, group retained earnings. I will again on bargain purchases. And what's the amount? That is coming from working 3. How much do I have, class?
16,500.
1,500. I've done that. So I can now move number 5. I can now do the NCI value. So to get my NCI value, I need the fair value of consideration. What's the fair value of consideration of my NCI? According to working 3.
19,000.
I have it 19,000. Now, I now need information. Don't forget, in my note 2, my date of acquisition took me to goodwill. Now, my post acquisition will now take me to calculating the post acquisition of X Limited to NCI. And what is the NCI percentage?
20%.
So I will now take 20% of 71,500. Can I get my answer, please? What's the answer? Calculator.
14,300.
That is 14,300. Then I quickly get the post acquisition of X limited to him. So and what's his own percentage? 80% times, let me write it clearly so that you'll be
71,500.
able to know where it's coming from. 80% times 71,500. What do I have?
57,200.
57,200. Now if you look at this, all the items that is in the additional information we have done. So I will now move to the question back. You know, I've taught you the one that we can use a statement from. I can decide to do something. Instead of me going to that statement form, I'll just go back here. What is the amount that I have for the 297,500 plus 138,500? I'll ask myself, is there any additional information relating to non-current asset?
No.
No? So I close it. You can do this, or you stick to this method that I taught you earlier, which I think we need to start getting used to. I just come note 6. I'll say non-current asset. The value of P limited is 297,500. Then that of X limited is 138,500. So move on. Note 7. I have current asset. So what I'm trying to do is that everything in the question is coming to my solution page. I have a 749 and I have X limited. That is what? 115,500. So that's goes there. For the return earning, I won't want to wait too much time. I know that of the parent. And like what I've told you earlier, the value of the parent share capital will not change except there are more issues of shares, and there's none here. So after that, I move to my current liability. That is note 8, current liabilities. For my current liability, I have P limited. What's the value for P limited? 616,000. Then I have for X limited, that is 87,500. Now, if you look at it, I don't need the question again in my hand. So I'll just go back to all my workings, complete all of them, and I'll ask myself, 5 step, group structure. Have I done group structure?
Yes, sir.
Good one. Have I done net asset of subsidiary?
Yes, we have.
Yes.
Now, the information on net asset subsidiary, have I been able to use it to get my information for goodwill?
Yes.
Have I?
Yes, sir. Yes.
Okay. Just one information coming in now. The guru said she has class with you for 6 p.m. So that means my class must end by 5:45. Is that true?
I thought it was 8 p.m. She said,
Yes.
she mentioned.
She
She
said
said
8 p.m., sir.
She
She
said
said what,
8.
ma?
Maybe she has
She said
changed it.
She said 8
Uh,
p.m.
Let me quickly ask her. I'll quickly have to confirm some things, and that will help us out. So I want you to get all those answers for me. you gotten all the figures? I'm also confirming that the guru said your class is 8. Thank you, ma'am. Thank you all. Okay, I think I have all my figures. So yeah, now, if you look at what we're doing, we didn't pick the value of the parents. So what is the parents' P limited retained earnings from the question? I will not say anything. You are the one to give me that answer. What is the retained earning of P limited?
140,000.
God bless you. Class confirm. Later might be bringing the figure from home.
140,000.
So that is that. So what is the total we now have? So that's that. What is the total of NCR? That's 3. That's 33.
Is it 3?
1,300. Okay, what's the total of non-current assets?
436,000.
Kill up with
436,000.
436,000. What is for current liability? Please, class.
The current liability 703,500.
700 and
Current liabilities, not asset.
703,000.
500.
What is current assets, please?
Current assets 864,500.
That is a very sweet voice, class. A gentle voice.
864,500.
Okay, Adebisi. Welcome, man.
Yes, sir.
Okay. I think we already have all our figures. So let's now go to our solution page. Now you guys will be giving me what I want. Note 6.
Nǹkan tó ti sọ àti ṣé pọ́ọ̀tì ni?
So let's have our note. So we have the note. For non-current assets, that is note 6. So what's our note 6, class? Our note 6 is 400 and what?
436,000.
436,000. Do we have goodwill in this question?
No.
My current asset is note 7. How much is it? BC gave us that figure.
Yes.
864,500.
8 what? 64,000.
64,500.
500.
And you know, like what I've told you, I don't add my total assets. I will first put in all the figures until when I confirm that it's correct with the other one that I will not total. So let's have that idea rather than shading. What's the group retained earnings? That is note 4. Figure me.
Please, let's check.
Group retained earnings.
13,700.
Thank you. 213,000.
700.
Now, what's my controlling interest?
$33,300.
Thank you. That's note 5. You know what this internet have been able to do? Some of us can just wake up from the bed and join the class. Okay, note 8. What's my current liability?
703,500.
703,000. So what's now the total for up and down? What is my total?
Down is 1,300,500.
We have 1 million.
Down, sir.
Okay, down. 1,300,000.
1,500.
What is for total asset?
1,300,500.
So that is that. Question 2 done. And this is how we have just said question 2. So we'll go to question 3. Question 3. Okay, I need somebody to read for me.
On 30 June 2008, P Limited acquired 60% of the ordinary share capital and 20% of the preference share capital of S Limited for 95,000 naira and 15,000 naira respectively. On that date, S Limited retained earnings balance was 50,000 naira and a share premium balance of 9,000. The following statement of financial position have been prepared as at 30th June 2009. All figures are assumed to be correct. You are required to prepare the consolidated statement of financial position of P Limited and its subsidiary as at 30 June 2009, assuming that the accumulated impairment losses are valued at 5,000 naira.
Okay. What does this show us? If you see in this question now, we are not only having one transaction, and I want you to also confirm something. We're told that he bought X Limited, ordinary share capital, 60% preference shares of what? Now, in this
20%.
case, you are going to see our goodwill affecting two events. You are going to see that our consolidated goodwill is going to have the combination of both equity and debt goodwill. And that is what we need to also pay attention. We're going to have the what? The position of goodwill. And then you also look at it, it's also telling us that there are also information of impairment loss. So, and that impairment loss, they said P Limited and its subsidiaries are that assuming that accumulated impairment loss are carried at how much? 5,000.
5,000 naira.
Now, there's something I want to call your attention to. If we look at this question, is there any information telling us how much the NCI has paid?
No.
Is there any information? No. There's
So
none.
there are no direct information.
Yes, there's nothing like direct information. There's no information. Now, why I still retain this question is that the standard have changed, but that exemption clause in that standard might still make an examiner look at this, but it's unfair on students. Is that once you are not provided with any information, are you there now, relating to the non-controlling interest purchase consideration, it is assumed that the purchase consideration, that the fair value purchase consideration of the NCI is at cost, and which will be at proportionate method. That is number one. Then number two, because there was no any information on the fair value of NCI, if any goodwill arise, such goodwill is totally assumed to be from the fair value of the parent's goodwill. Did you get what I'm saying? It's an old principle which should not be tested again. But in case you have it in the exam, this is what we do. Is that once you check through all your questions, which I don't think should exist. Are we there now? Because the standard have changed in 2010. Because we still use this in 2010. But from 2013, you don't see anything like that coming up. But this 10 years after, you might have an examiner that wants to check the exemption clause. You know, they don't check the normal thing. So what do I look for in this question? One, there is no fair value for NCI. Where there is no value for NCI, it means all the impairments that is to be calculated will be associated with the goodwill arising from the parent. And these are the facts. Because the NCI at proportionate method is buying or paying for his own equity at cost, it is assumed that there's nothing at a value lower than the cost. So in that case, that guy cannot have two jeopardy. So he's buying at cost. You cannot tell him now that what he's buying is reducing. Please, in real life, it can happen that what he's buying can reduce in value, can suffer impairment in line with IS 36. Are we there now? So that's it. So let's move to this question. And the beauty of the question is in solving it. If you are there, I am there. Question 3. Am I having all my sisters in the class? Sisters, I'm not hearing your voice. So this is on page 15 to 16.
Maybe you should say your side.
Okay, you are on my side. Limited and group. Or just say P limited group. Please, so there's nothing like a group. P limited group. So what are we required to do? What's the
You are
requirement?
required to prepare the consolidated financial position statement.
Okay. Now, in
That
preparing the
30th June.
consolidated financial
Statement of financial position.
So let me
As at
take that.
30th is 2019.
What by you can see my
2009.
sisters are now with me. 2009. Is it
Yes.
2009? So I have here consolidated statement of financial position. As at what date?
30 June 2009.
If you look at what I'm doing, I go back to my question without thinking. I just dub what the examiner put there. I will not change some things. Okay, the first thing the examiner have is non-current asset. After the non-current asset, I have investment. That investment I told you can be interchangeable to the work of goodwill.
Goodwill.
After that, I now have my current
asset.
Current asset. That gives me my total asset. After that, what do I have? I have my equity. Please, at this point, I might have to rearrange because I think that examiner is on drugs. So you put preference shares first. But please, if you have done the same thing you have done, that doesn't mean you will fail. So some of you start getting scared. From here, we also have preference share. And that is also of ₦1. I don't know which grammar is this examiner. I say which of, okay. After that, and I have my group meeting. Earnings. After my group retain earnings, and I have my non-group
Share
We
premium.
have share premium.
I have share
premium.
premium. Okay,
Yes,
class.
sir.
That means there was a share premium before my retainer.
Yes, sir.
You can see beautiful class. And like what I always tell my students, when you are writing, make sure you always put space. You don't squeeze everything. So yeah, and I have share premium. After share premium, I have my group retained earnings. I have this joke. One of my students told me that when he got to the exam, he did not bother to check what the examiner has said. He just wrote his own format, share premium, everything, preference shares. When he now was writing solution, the one that does not matter, he just puts dash. Class is allowed so that you won't forget anything. Non-controlling interest. You see, when people start giving testimony in the church, you will laugh by the time they tell you what they do in the exam. Current liabilities. Okay, this is my solution page. 5 minutes to go. I can write the ones that no need for adjustment, and I'll submit. Even if you submit this one, at all, you score 3. And then, 3 is an important mark.
For 47.
I beg. 3 mark can make somebody to cross from 47 to 50. 3 mark can make a 48 person to cross to 51. 3 mark can make 49 to score to 52. I know of somebody that had 47, 4 continued diet to 47, 48, 49. You can see. I pray that the issue of Okudia will not enter our life.
Amen.
I'll become pastor. Let's go. We have a lot of mommy geos among us. So after we finish, we need prayer. So I move to my question requirement now. Sorry, additional information. In looking at my additional information, we also stay with our one way. What do I have? I have for my question on June 10th date. So just say P acquired X. That is 60%. And don't forget that is ordinary share capital. In this ordinary share capital, there will be an NCI of 40%. But P again also bought how many percent? 20%, which is from preference share capital. I want you to know that the NCI, which are the people from outsider, are the ones that will have 80%. Yes or no?
Yes.
And you have to let them have their interest in that guy. Why you are going to maintain their own record is because they are part owners and you are the one consolidating. Okay, let's go to the next event. So we now come, what's number 2 we are looking at? The net asset of X Limited. At this point, I'm going to divide into 2. I have the equity portion, and I'm also going to have the net asset of subsidiary limited, which is the debt portion. And that debt portion, you'll be seeing me looking at the preference share. Are we together now? I think it's an old question that we still retain, and I still love it. So I have the date of action, date of reporting, and post-acquisition. So let's get that. What is the ordinary share capital?
Ordinary share capital 90,000.
90,000. God bless you. So that will also be on our date of reporting, date of acquisition. Okay, let's now go. And please note, share premium goes with ordinary share because it's an equity component. So in my question, I think from what I have here, I have preference shares. What's the preference share of the
9,000.
pardon?
9,000.
Preference share of the
40,000.
subsidiary.
40,000.
Thank you. I'm asking you. So on the
The
date of
share
acquisition
premium that
to
is
40,000.
9,000.
And quick one. What is the date of acquisition?
30 June 2008.
And date of reporting to is 30 June. So is it acquisition
2009.
during the year or at the beginning of the year?
The beginning of the year.
Good one. So let's go share premium. What's the share premium on the date of acquisition?
9,000.
9,000.
On the date of reporting is 90,000. It also be on the date of. So okay, let's go retain earnings. What are retained earnings? On the date of reporting, how much do we have?
80,000.
So class. On the date of acquisition, how much is our retained earnings given to us? In the preamble?
50,000.
50,000. God bless you. Okay. If you look at this, all the information in the preamble is what we have considered. There is no additional information. So I now need to get all my figures right in their places. I add
153.
this is 0, this is 0, this is 30,000. So this gives me 30,000. This is how much?
153.
I disagree. 50 plus 90 plus 9,000.
179,000.
So this one is 179.
No, is the DOR that is 179.
What is it? The DOR is 179? Okay,
Yes.
thank you. Okay, thank you. 179. What is the amount for the date of acquisition?
149,000.
Okay, this one is 0. So there's no argument. Okay. Can we now move on? Forgetting the net asset. So the next element I need is computation of my what? That is note 5.
Goodwill.
I think I'm going to note 5. No, note 4, pardon. So let's go to our goodwill. And computation of goodwill. So in this case, like what I told you, I said we're going to have two nature of goodwill. So the first one is the one on equity. So let's see, what is the amount paid by the parent?
95,000.
Transfer. So we are having by P Limited, he paid a total sum of what?
95,000.
If you go to the question, investment, I want to quickly just show you analysis of investment cost. He paid a total sum of 110,000. Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
This 110,000 is for two
95,000.
For the equity portion, it is 95,000. Then for the one for debt in nature, which you can say preference share, is what? What's the balance?
15,000.
Pardon?
15,000.
15,000. Now I want you to pay attention to that very well. Because we are going to look at when we get to when we are calculating for NCI, they didn't tell us the amount that he paid. Okay, they mentioned it in the preamble. But however, if it has not been mentioned, that is how to calculate it. I think this question is too simple. It must have been an ACCA question. Not said by one of my colleagues that use glasses like me. So let's say NCI. What is the percentage holding of NCI? 40%. And because we were told in this question that there was no value for NCI, so I said using the proportionate, we pick the one which is the net asset on the date of acquisition. And how much is that value?
149,000.
So how much is that going to give me, class?
$59.6.
59,600.
59,600.
600.
Okay, I quickly heard somebody say something now. If you look at this question, the examiner did not ask us to work in thousands or to work in million. So since it's in naira, state it out. Please don't say because you are rushing. You now do it 2059 points. No, please. Okay, what's the total consideration? That is how much?
154,600.
So we now need our net asset of X Limited on the date of acquisition, which is 30/6/2008. So how much do I have for my workings? So 2. That is 149,000. 149,000. So please, class, what is the value of the goodwill?
5,600.
So I call it completed
5,600.
goodwill. What's the value of completed goodwill, which is the equity completed goodwill? How much?
5,600.
5,600. But that is not the only acquisition that happened. So I have to look for the other acquisition. And the other acquisition has to do with my preference share. So for my preference shares, how much was the consideration? And please, in this case,
15,000.
we'll be talking about that of the parents. How much did he pay?
15,000.
So for the parents, he limited, he paid 15,000. So in this case, class, how much is now the amount of the cost? Because if you are looking at it, you don't only look for him. I want us to know that we are using full method. So NCI that will show up. He's having the 80% of the remaining, which is times 40,000. How much is his own? 32 what?
Where do you get 40?
That is the value of the preference shares on the date of acquisition.
Okay.
Yeah.
So what do I have? 32 plus that. What would that give me? That is 47,000. Now, what is now the net asset of the preference shares? What is the net asset of the preference share?
This is 240,000.
It's 40,000. So that's what was born. So class, how much is now the goodwill?
7,000.
7,000. So now look at this. I would have added this goodwill, but I was informed that there's an
There
impairment.
was impairment of 5,000.
That impairment nothing concerns the equity. The impairment will be adjusted with the equity rather than the preference. So how much is the impairment, please?
5,000 naira.
5,000 naira. So what do I have left here? 600.
600.
So add 600 to 7,000 for me to now know what is my consolidated.
Sorry, you wrote 6,000 though.
Okay, sorry, I was testing you. So what is now my consolidated goodwill? Thank you.
7,600.
7,000 what?
600.
So that is that. Any question for me? You can see the other day when I was teaching goodwill, I said by the time we move on, you are going to see that what is behind 6 is more than 7. You can see how we are expanding it now. We have done for preference shares. We are going to get to another question whereby there will also be what we call group acquisition of liability, which is an intra-group thing. You also look at that. So I think that said that. What's the next adjustment? We have done group structure. We have done net assets.
We've done
So what are we moving to?
NCI.
So note what was the last one?
Really?
Note 4.
Oh, 4.
I move to note 5. So computation
Of non-controlling interest.
of non-controlling interest. Okay, so in that case, let's quickly take our beauty of it. What is the fair value paid by the NCI for equity? Let's be very careful.
9,600.
Fair value. He bought two things. He bought equity, and that equity was how much?
59,600.
59,600. He also bought that of preference shares. And how much was the amount?
32,000.
That is 32,000. Now we now need to calculate his own post-acquisition reserve from X Limited. So what is the percentage holding that he has in equity?
40%.
So that is 40% times. And what is the post-acquisition retained earning?
30,000.
Okay.
149.
140 waiting.
30,000.
Thank you. Okay, you are testing us. So I now have times 30,000. So how much is that going to be?
12,000.
12,000. Correct? So I have that. Is there any adjustment? None. So what's the total that I have?
12.
I leave that to you.
103,600.
103,600. So I now move to my group retained earnings. For my group retained earnings.
A second, sir.
Pardon?
So I want to confirm, I don't know. Since we have NCI for equity, are we not having NCI for preference share?
Thank you, sir. You can't have NCI for preference share. If you look at that preference share, the NCI is having more control. And please, I also said, when it comes to consolidation, you start talking about control with equity. If NCI have 100% of that preference shares, you will still be the one in control. Okay, let's look at group retained earnings. For our group retained earnings, so what do I have? What is the value of the group retained earnings of P Limited in the question?
150,000.
150,000. So we now take the adjustment. What is the post-acquisition reserve from X Limited? That is 60% of 30,000. What would that give me?
18,000.
Now there's still one adjustment that we need to make on these parents. What is that adjustment? And I told you the adjustment. What is all about?
18,000.
What is it? Don't
The
forget
debt.
our
Oh,
impairment loss. So
Impairment.
what's the value of our impairment loss?
5,000.
5,000. So we are deducting. So how much am I going to have at the end?
163,000.
163,000. So and I think that is all. So note 7, we also do what I told you we always do. So we just go straight and pick all those informations where we need them. We pick the non-current assets. What are the value of non-current assets for P Limited?
For P Limited, 220,000.
For X Limited, how much?
170,000.
So please, is there any adjustment?
No.
No. So that ends that. So move to the next item.
8.
Number 8, current assets. What's the current asset for P Limited?
270,000.
270,000. What is for X Limited?
186,000.
186,000. Any adjustment on that?
None.
Confirm. And we can see there's no adjustment.
No adjustment.
So since there's no adjustment, let's go to the next one. Number 9.
What of goodwill? Yes.
What of goodwill? Goodwill will not come there. I love that interjection. You quickly see that you must not cross road in Lagos without checking side. P Limited. What is the current liability for P Limited?
225,000.
225,000. What is for X Limited?
137,000.
137. So
So
since there's no more adjustment, let's add. I need you to add for
The
me.
last one, 362,000 for
Pardon?
number 9.
For note 9,
362.
how much is it?
Yes. 362,000.
352,000. You can see people will book out 362.
52.
Pardon me, 362. Current asset,
456,000.
456,000. Next, for no current asset,
390,000.
and I think all are done. So let's just put them into the answers. For non-current assets, I think that is note what?
It's 7 or 8.
Note 7. Let's get the right figure. That is note 7. And how much did you call it?
390.
390, if I can remember. Goodwill is note what?
No.
A goodwill is note 4. And how much is that?
76.
Sorry, note 4. That is 7,600. Then our current asset is note what?
8.
Note 8. How much is that?
456,000. 456,000.
Note 8. 400 and what?
56,000.
For our ordinary share, there's no need beating around the bush. We have it already. That is 150,000. Then for our preference shares, we only take that of the parent company, and that is 50,000. So what do we have left? What's our share premium for the parent only?
25,000.
25,000. So for my group retained earning, note what is that?
6.
Note 6. Let's confirm. Note 6. And how much is that?
163,000.
163,000. Now the addition of everything here is always called shareholders fund.
And
So what's the we have that. No, what's our non-controlling interest? That is note 5. And how much do I have?
103,600.
Then I have my
Current
non-current
liability,
liability, which is note 9.
362,000.
So can I get the total for up and down? So what's my value? Please, class. I can't hear you.
Down is 853,600. Down
Down is how much?
853,600.
853,600. Up, uncle.
853,600.
853,600.
600.
Okay. Question 4. So can we go to question 4?
Yes, please.
In going to question 4, I'll need you to tell me. I think question 4 is on page 16. Page 16. So can somebody read question 4 for us? Question 4, read please.
Statement of financial position at 31st December 2009. We have Faye and Garbo. All figures are assumed to be correct.
Continue.
On 1st January 2003, Faye acquired 3,000 shares of Garbo. At that date, the balance on Garbo retained earnings was 8,000 naira, and the fair value of the non-controlling interest was 3,500.
Quick one. What did you say in this question?
Acquisition many years.
What did they give us? That is
Give
different
us
from what we
fair
just saw.
value of NCI.
You can see the. So that means we are moving from the old to the new. Okay, go on.
An impairment review at the year showed a fall in the value of goodwill of 1,809. Prepared the consolidated statement of financial position of FIE at 31st December 2009, assuming that it is the group practice to value the non-controlling interest using the full goodwill method.
So, class, will you want me to solve this question or you go and solve it yourself? Well, this is question and answer because a lot of you have tried it. So let me move on. Question 4. We are really moving at a pace that I love.
Me too.
So let's look at that. Where do I start from again? The way the
Group
question is being
structure.
done. No?
Oh, we will draw a template.
And what's the name of the question?
Fire group. Fire group.
I have 5. And I have my template. If you look at it, it is what the examiner puts. Now you need to go double see. I just come here consolidating. For those people who are not listening or that watch this after we are through, that don't understand my Nigerian English. What I simply mean, I haven't said what the examiner put. Now I go restructure or put am inside. Simply means that I'm looking at the format that the examiner has presented. As I've said earlier, there is something that always mirror the solution. So let's go there. Consolidation. What did the examiner ask us for? Consolidated statement of financial position. As I word it, 31.
That 31 December 2009.
God bless you. In this case, you are still working with Naira. So yeah, now we now have non-current assets. My non-current asset now have an element, property, plant,
And
and
equipment.
Equipment. I'm sure you would have been taught by somebody I know. Then after that, we have what called group. Now, I want you to start getting to know something. Immediately after my property, plant, and equipment, I will leave a line. Because you start getting to a situation whereby you might have a question that the the parent company will have other investments other than the investment in the
subsidiary.
Yeah. So yeah, we now have current assets. After that, I follow what I have in the question. This is my total asset. Equity and liability. Is in case you are hearing the children's sound at the background. That is to show that I'm working from home. And like what I've told you in class, that those guys don't sit down 5 minutes. They just came back from class. So I'm sure you started seeing that they are really my children. Share premium. Now somebody will say, where am I getting all these figures from? Please, these are all figures that I'm getting from the question. That means the template. So I have share premium. After share premium, I now have my group structure. Group what class? Share premium.
You have
group retain earnings. After I leave a small line, to look for my shareholders fund. After my shareholders fund, I have my non-controlling interest. As you are moving on into other questions, you might see me using 2 pages. Even in this question, I can see I might likely have to move to because I also have what call my non-current liabilities. And my non-current liability is 8% loan note. Then I now have current liability. Okay, I think the template is good enough, and that makes my job easier.
Mr. Emma,
yes, please.
Can you answer the question? Can you go back to the question?
Okay, the question is question number 4. Okay. And it's in Riskfree Park, page number 6. Page number 16. Have you seen the question?
Yeah.
I also learned something yesterday, but I'm still trying to learn it. On my phone, they said there's what we call screen pinning. And you can pin your screen I thought it's called screenshot, but I was told it's not called screenshot. It's called screen pinning.
Yeah.
So don't worry. I started learning new things soon. I bought the laptop I'm using with you now for 5 years. Or let's say so. I just learned something this morning. Not knowing that that laptop can do some things. I never knew that you have on the ISO you can record all what you are doing. And you can even record on your PowerPoint all what you are doing and you are saying. And you can stream it straight to your YouTube. Technology is going interesting. Okay, let's go on. My next diet. My job will be easier. I just play video for them and just sit down in the class. They'll be watching video. Let's go on now. What is the requirement that we have? I think we have done this one. Any adjustment?
There's an increment.
Okay, so therefore let's go with our workings. Note A.
Group
Sorry, I prefer
structure.
to use the word. What is the group structure? We have what? Faye.
Faye.
Acquiring.
And Garbo.
Gabo. What is the percentage holding? Were we given the percentage holding? No.
No.
And on the date of acquisition is what? 1st January 2003. So I need to get the percentage holding. And how many units was acquired?
3,000.
Out of how many units of Gabon?
4,000.
So times 100 over 1. So how many percentage is owned?
75.
So an NCI will have how many percent?
25.
Oh no. No thinking is required. Note 2. Net asset of what? Gabon. On the date of reporting, what is the date of reporting?
2009, 31 December.
Okay, 31 December. And post acquisition. What is my share capital on the date of reporting?
4,000.
What is the amount on date of reporting? 4,000. What is my retained earnings on the date of reporting?
12,000.
What is the amount on the date of acquisition?
8,000.
8,000. Okay, any adjustments affecting the net asset? None. So this gives me a total of how much? 12,000. And it gives me a total of what?
16,000.
So I have this as 4,000 and 4,000. So quickly move to note 3. Note 3, what am I looking for?
I'm looking for goodwill.
So the goodwill now, no thinking is required. The consideration. What was the consideration paid by Faye?
12,000.
Where is that coming from?
From
the
the
question.
figures on the
How much was paid by NCI?
3,500.
Giving me a total of how much?
15,500.
So I need my net assets of Gabon. The person eating is unfair. You all know that we are all fasting.
It's Pedro.
20,000 naira. Pedro, watch your weight. So what's my goodwill completed?
35.
3,005. Is that the end?
There's an impairment that should come.
Oh, there's an impairment. This is 35. So I now have my impairment. What's the value of my impairment?
1,800.
So what will now be my consolidated goodwill value?
1,700.
So that is that. Working for. I'll now look at my
I'm
NCI
controlling
value.
first.
Not controlling interest. So what is the fair value of consideration?
35.
3,500. So what is the post acquisition reserve
I think
from
4,000.
Gabon? So it's collecting 25% times
4,000.
4,000. So what would that be?
1,000.
1,000
naira.
naira. But don't forget, like what I usually tell you, there's an adjustment element here of impairment, which must not be shared between two of the organizations. Sorry, the two entities, which will be FIRE and that of what?
Garibo.
NCI. FIRE will take 75%, NCI will take what?
25%.
Or 1/8. So let's not take that into consideration. We look at the impairment loss. That's 25% of 1,008. What would that give me?
450. 459.
That's 450 naira. No, sorry, deduct. So class, next, we'll now look at our group retained.
The total there is 4,059.
I'm coming, please. Total here is what?
4,059.
What is the retained earning of FIRE?
4,059, sir. Not 45.
4,050 naira.
Yes, sir.
Okay. What's now the retained earning of FIRE?
From the question,
Yes, from the
6,000.
on date of reporting.
6,000.
6,000.
So,
The post acquisition reserve from Gabon. That will give me 75%
of 4,000.
Yeah, that's 3,000.
Sir.
Impairment of 75% for 1/8. What would that give me?
1,350.
So what's the total?
So I'll put jacket for 1,350.
Okay, correct. Next. What's the total, please?
7,650.
7,000.
650.
650. So
Yes,
let's go back to our question and upgrade all our additional information. So I need my consolidated PPE. What is the value for FIRE?
33,000.
33,000. What is for Gabon?
20,000.
20,000. Any adjustment
None.
on the PPE?
53,000 total.
No adjustment, so we have total of 53. So note 7, we go to our current asset. For the current asset, I have for fire, how much?
5,000.
I have for Gabon, how much?
15,000.
Giving me a total of what?
20.
So we'll move to the next additional information, note 8. When it has to do with the parents, I told you there's nothing for us to put them, so just take it straight to our solution. What is the share capital of the parent? 10,000.
10,000.
Share premium is how much?
5,000.
Class, are you with me?
Yes, sir.
Thank you. So let's now go back. Our retain earning already done. Now we now have
Current
for the retain
liability.
earning, we have done that. We now have an current asset. No additional information on that. Okay, sorry,
8%,
we need to move on.
8% loan note.
8% what?
Loan note.
So what is for FIA?
20,000.
20.
20,000.
What is for Gabon?
Gabon 9,000.
Class confirm. Poison is dangerous to earth. That is 29,000. Next, what do I have? Note 9.
Current liabilities.
Current liabilities. What is my current liability for Kwale?
9,000.
What's current liability for Gabon?
10,000.
10,000. That is 19,000. I haven't gotten all this. My job is good to go. So for my working, I then have for my notes. What is my note for PPE? Note what? Note 6, and the amount is 53,000. That is note 6. Are we all there?
Yes, sir.
Then I now have note 6. That's 3,000. What is my goodwill? Note what is my goodwill, please?
Note 3.
My goodwill is note 3, and the amount is 1,700.
700.
So I have note 3, 1,700. Then my current asset are there.
That should be note 7.
Note 7, how much is that?
20,000.
So let's go to group retain earning. Note what is group retain earning?
5.
Note 5, and that is what?
7,650.
That is note 5. And that is 7,650. Our non-controlling interest, note what is it? Note 4. And that is how much?
4,050 naira.
$4,050. My loan note Working, what is that? Working 8.
8.
And that's 29,000. Don't forget. 8. That one, yeah. Note 8. And that's how much? How much was our
29,000.
29,000.
Current liability.
My liability.
Note 9.
And how much is it?
19,000.
19,000. So now I need my total equity and liability. So what's the answer? Up and down.
Up with
Total asset is what?
74,700.
Total liability and equity. Total equity and liability. Shareholders fund first.
Shareholders fund 22,650.
Then what's now the balance? The total there.
74,700.
70.
4,700.
75.
74,700.
Okay. So that is that. That is question 4 done.
Yeah.
So you can see in the space, either we could be able to do question 1, 2, 3, 4.
Please, I have a question.
Yes, question is Bobby.
Okay. Please, sir, the 8% loan notes, I thought it would be charged on the 20% and 9% of hire and Gabon.
Thank you. In this question, those are items already prepared. I'm not telling you interest has not been taken. And if you look at it, the amount of the interest, the 8% loan note is at the end of the year. So it means that the interest must have been accounted for. If the examiner wants us to calculate it, he would have told us that those interest has not been charged.
Not been charged. Okay.
Next question.
Okay. Thank you, sir.
Okay. I haven't done that. I can see that now only me and remain. So I think I'll leave the beauty of those questions to you. They want us to look at. Also, I'm giving you assignment to do question number 7, 8. No, do question number 5. Or you want me to do question number 5? Because if you look at the adjustment, the only new thing we are just bringing in is what we have in our non-current asset. So, question number 5. Is this something you guys can attempt? As all the other ones you have there, they are just another question. So when do I get my answer?
On Saturday.
On Saturday, I can't wait till Saturday. Saturday is a
So
long.
are we having this class again this week?
I don't know. You know, like I told you, I said it was something that just prompted up by someone. So I want you to do question number 5. So maybe if you are going to have it again, maybe that will be
It's
on
on
Thursday.
Thursday.
Maybe we'll meet on Thursday again.
Yeah.
That's that. I don't want to push my luck. It will be unfair to make you guys get so, but I'm having more questions. So to do with him. So I think I'll prefer we'll meet on Thursday. So to get more questions on. Maybe by on Thursday we'll now do 5, 6, 7, 8 to maybe probably 10. So that's it. Any question for me? So if there's no question, I like at this point to say thank you. And I want you to know that we'll do more of this revision, more of this question. And thank you for joining us with Riskfree. So we've been able to do question 1 to 4. So we've done question 1 to question 4 using our Riskfree pack. So please, you can share the link with your colleagues. We'll get
So
to see
please
again.